Hello guys, Colin here. Sometimes people bring you a guitar to work on that you just don't want to give back to them. And this is especially the case with this Gibson SG Special natural finished. It's absolutely gorgeous and sounds amazing, and I really don't want to give this back to Ryan. Hello Ryan. So why have I got this lovely SG? Well, Ryan was wanting to do a couple of things, just a couple of little fix things, but one thing he wanted to do was make these humbuckers coil splittable, so that they can work as single coils as well as humbuckers. This will be a little video diary on how to split humbuckers into single coils via a push-pull pot. This here is what's going to allow me to be able to do this coil splitting. This is a potentiometer, so this will work just like one of the knobs for a volume or a tone, but it's got this big box attached on it which is a switch, and what happens is this will pull out and push in. We'll wire it up so that when it's pushed in, the pickups are working as humbuckers, and when we pull it out, then the pickup will be working as single coils. This is a very discreet way to do it because it's all concealed under a knob, and all you do is pull it out and push it in, instead of drilling new holes in your guitar for extra switches or whatever. I've got my wiring diagram. These things can be downloaded from the internet. It shows a version of 2 humbuckers, 2 volumes, 2 tones, same as this SG. The wiring configuration for a push-pull pot on the volume. This is now the SG with all the hardware and pickguard removed, and I've gone into these pickups, and the tape that goes round about all the way around, just peeled that back where the lead goes into the pickup, located these 2 white wires that are soldered together, and they were tucked away in there and covered in tape. One of these leads comes from each of the coils. The next step is just to solder more leads onto those and then get them wired up to the new switch. And incidentally, this white stuff here that's flaking off all over the place and is all over these pickups is wax before they're put into the guitar. After they've been wound and made up, is they get dipped into a bath of molten wax, and what that does is fixes all the windings and all the bits in place so they don't shake and rattle about when the guitar is being moved. Any physical movement of the coils in the pickups will create a microphonic effect. Coils vibrating together will make a noise, and that's not the kind of noise you want to get from a guitar. You just want to be getting noise picking up from the strings vibrating, not from any noises within the pickup themselves. So that's why there's all this wax here. So just some firing up the soldering iron here to get started. I'll show you this control cavity of this SG. This potentiometer here is the one that we're going to remove and replace with the push-pull. So the first thing I have to do is desolder all the wires attached to that, so I can get it out and make some room for this one. So that's the old pot being removed, and I've got the new pot installed. This black cable is running from the neck pickup from those 2 white wires that we saw earlier, and this grey one here is running from the bridge pickup from the 2 white wires. So they're wired to the middle pin on each side of this pot, so they will select only the bottom coil on each of the pickups when the push-pull is pulled, and when it's pushed in it will select the whole humbucker as normal. So this is how this black cable from the neck is connected to the pickup. There's those 2 white wires from before, and underneath this piece of insulating tape they're soldered together to the core of this wire, and then that's just this shielding going onto this shielding so that there's no earth hum, because I was having a lot of grounding problems with this one. But those 2 white wires connected to the core of this, and then that goes to the push-pull switch. So it's as easy as that if you want to split a 1 conductor humbucker into one that can be coil split. Just adding another cable onto those 2 white ones that you'll find tucked away inside the pickup. As long as you don't damage any of the coils or anything else in the pickup, it should be a really, really easy job. So this is the volume control that I decided to put on. That would be the bridge volume control. Just going to put this back on top of it. I'll shut all the way off. Let's see where the zeros are sitting. I like to line up my numbers. I'll push it on. That should just go click, click. Single coils, humbuckers. The last thing that Ryan wanted me to do for his guitar was take his truss rod cover and engrave his initials into it. And the easiest way to make this look professional is to go onto the computer, find the font, put the initials in the font, print it out, then stick it on top of this before starting to engrave. and that way you should be able to get the letters accurate. But to make sure I'm getting the right size and dimensions for this, I'm going to scan this piece in. So there's my scanner on there, and we will hit scan. Just means that I have the correct dimensions. There we go. So now what I can do is use this layer and put text overlays on it so I get the font that I want, the size that I want, then I can print just the letters and it'll come out to the size on the paper that the truss cover is. So I've printed out the initials in the font that I want on a piece of paper, and I've got that stuck to a piece of masking tape which is stuck to the truss cover. So I clamp down at the desk as securely as I can get it, and I'm going to use a Dremel to start engraving these letters into the truss cover. Going to mix up some white modelling paint, and we're going to paint into the letters on the truss cover with the white, and that'll just make it stand out a little bit more and make it look a bit more like what they look like on a real Gibson truss cover when they've actually got some letters in them. So this is just Humbrel, just satin white. Hopefully that'll be okay. There you have it. Just going to look at some of the differences between the sound of a humbucker and a single coil. This is just sitting on the bridge pickup, full volume, and this is just what it sounds like with a humbucker. If we split the single coil, you get this. So is that it goes a bit quieter, and it's not as full a sound, it's more it's a thinner, sharper sound. Hopefully you can hear that. If you want to use this productively live, you can balance the sound. I mean, about 8 on a humbucker. It's about 10. So that's just using the volume control to try and balance out the volumes. So for that kind of stuff, the single coils are better because you get the sharper sound to them, more defined.